Welcome back to English Time. Good morning to you all. How are you? Yes, you are fine. I'm also fine. Is it raining there? No. Yes, I think it is going to rain here. Okay, so we completed our second unit lessons. Today we are going to the third unit, Man and Media. That is the title of this third unit. From this title itself you can understand it will be telling about man and media, means the connection between man and media. Media, it is an inevitable part in this modern world. We can easily know each and everything, whatever happens in any corner of this world, by using this media. This unit will tell you about the history of media. Today, we have many different platforms to get information about each and everything. It's very easy, especially internet and social media, Facebook, WhatsApp. Many Telegram, Instagram, and like that, many options are there to talk with this world. One individual can easily talk with the world by using this new platform. But it was not the condition of the past. This change occurred only a few years back. But before that, there was a world where passing messages were a big problem. So, in this unit, we are going to discuss the history of that media. Okay? So, first of all, you can see in the first page itself a picture. All of you, please look at that picture. Okay, what can you see in that picture? You can see this earth, our earth, and on that earth, what can you see? Who are there? Yes, you can see in the middle of the earth. Who is that person? Yes, he is a postman. Then he is surrounded by television, train, aeroplane, dove, then donkey, and horse cart is there, deer cart is there, then tape recorder is there, telephone is there. Okay, here are some questions to you. What do these pictures tell us about? So all these pictures telling about a particular thing. What is that? Guess it. And write down in your notebook, what is your guess? What is a guess? Tell me. Yes. What do these pictures tell us about? It is telling about what? Train, it is telling about, yes, it may be telling about transportation. Aeroplane also. Then who is the postman is there, he is telling about, yes, message passing or post office. Letters were sent in the past by using the post office, but in this modern world, most of the people do not depend upon post office. Yes, nowadays nobody goes to post office. Why? Because no need of going there. Why? Because by using, I told you about WhatsApp, Facebook and all, by using this, our messaging system is there. Yes, by using these messaging systems, we can easily contact, communicate with any person who has the same facility with him, wherever he is. It is not a matter. Distance is not a matter, wherever it may be. So mobile phone is there. Yes, if he or she is under the network coverage, we can contact with him, and without this network coverage, we have satellites. By using satellite, there is no problem for that satellite. Anywhere in this earth we can get or we can contact with any person. You might have seen with whom? Yes, police. Have you seen police jeep? Yes, in the police jeep, what is there? That is, they will be speaking with or a message will be coming to that satellite phone. There is a phone with them, walkie-talkie or something like that will be there. Now it is also mobile, so they can get information from the head office, from about each and everything which is going on there, anywhere. So messages to the policeman will be given through this satellite system, because it will not be accessible for common people. This satellite system is not accessible for common people. It is only accessible for police and such important people. Okay, so it is not a problem. Communication is not a problem in this modern world. So, but what was the condition of the past? That is what we are going to discuss. Okay. So what do these pictures tell us about? It is telling about what is message sending system. Okay. Then from we can gather information from television, mobile phone, we can communicate, and postman, they will give you what? They will give you letters, and aeroplane, train can be used for transportation and also for sending mails. Okay, then do you remember stories in which birds and animals carried messages? We discussed about stories in the previous unit. In some stories you might have heard kings who lived thousands of years back, they used to whom birds for what? Sending messages. So that is correct. How are messages conveyed nowadays? Then third question is what? How are messages conveyed nowadays? That by using this modern modern techniques. Internet is there. By using internet we can use what or new techniques like WhatsApp and or Facebook. We can easily communicate. Mobile is also there. We can communicate with anyone who is under the network. So in this modern world, it is not a matter. Okay. So we are going to the lesson. What is that lesson's name? The story of messages. What is the subtype topic? The story of messages. Okay. Nowadays, when we want to communicate, we either email a person or send an SMS. Everything happens by the clicking of a mouse or the pressing of a few buttons. It was not so in the near past. Most people wrote letters, put them in an envelope, got them stamped, dropped them in a post box, and waited patiently to hear from the other person. So the first paragraph, introduction, what is there in that? Nowadays, means today, in this modern world, when we want to communicate, if you just suppose you want to communicate with a person, what will you do? Just taking the mobile phone. If you have a mobile phone, your mother's or father's mobile phone will be with you. If you will ask permission from your father or mother, and they will take that mobile, and you will ring whom your friend. That number of that friend will be saved there. So just calling, that is enough. So we can use what we can use if he is far away, and if he is not online, he is not available in online, what will happen? We will either email or email or a person or send an SMS, or if he is not there online, just we can say about just we can pass an SMS, just to send a forward a message. He will read whenever he opens his mobile or that WhatsApp or messages inbox. So for this purpose, for sending a email or sending an SMS, what is needed? What is the physical work behind it? Is there any physical work? There is a physical work. What is that now? Everything happens by the clicking of a mouse. Just you want to writing. By using the keyboard, you are writing the matter. And next, what is there? Next, you are just pressing that mouse. If you use a computer, you can just press the mouse, or the pressing of a few buttons. Just using button, you can send an SMS. Very easy, not a matter. In a simple way, just taking and using the keyboard, just typing the sentences, or even some words or a picture we send, and that is what the communication. It is very easy. But what was a condition in the past? Yes, I will explain that. What here in this modern world, just one pressing is enough. The same activity took 1 day or more than 1 week or 1 month. Do you know that? How you know? Yes, I will tell you. Most people wrote letters. It was not in the near past. In the past, what was done by the people, most people wrote letters. You wanted to send a letter. For that purpose, you wanted to go and buy a letter, inland letter purchasing from the post office, and for that you have to go to the post office. Okay, or else you should go to a in a shop and buying a paper and one envelope also, then bringing it home, then writing there, then after writing, put them in an envelope. Then after writing, envelope means that inland card means no need of putting into an envelope. Inland itself will be just you want to gum it. Okay, so put them in an envelope. If you use a paper, you can buy an envelope. Envelope means cover you are purchasing, and you are folding that A4 or that paper into A4 and A4 folding and then putting into the cover. Okay, then next what is what? Then you are using gum. Okay, then got them stamped. If you just use gum and send, means that will not go to the person, your friend. You have to go back to where you have again go back to the post office and you want to buy one stamp from there, and after getting stamped, you have to drop it in the post box. Then postman will come and he will take that the letter that you sent, and he will go to the main post office. From there, that mail, they will mail it to where they will send to that particular district or that particular state or that particular country. If you send a letter to where a foreign country, then aeroplane also will be used. Then it will take time. Okay, then that reaching time will be according to the distance of that who your other friend's house. If it is very near, okay, it will take only one or 2 days. But if he is very far away, if he is living in Middle East countries, means in Saudi Arabia or Dubai, it took weeks. Then after reaching there, that postman in that country should deliver that letter to your father or your friend. Then he will read it, and the same process will be repeated by your friend or your father to get that response or reply. Then he has to go to the post office and write it and start getting stamped and then sending, and it will take 1 more week to reach you that reply. So you just think about that. But nowadays, no need, just seconds. If your father or friend who is there online, just wherever it may be, Dubai or America, where it may be, he will not take much time to reply you. So that is what the difference between this day and past. Okay. Next paragraph is going to tell you about the history. Okay. Way back in the 1850s, letters went on horseback from the east to the west of America. From the east to the west of America, that sending messages started in America, that history starting in America. They used in 1850s, years ago, 1850s, they used more than 150 years back, who Americans used horse for sending that messages. One freight company decided to speed things up by hiring 80 men to take the mail to the west on horseback. So they wanted to send messages from east to west. So east to west means kilometers were there to pass, or to the transportation was a big problem. So one freight company means what? Goods and services sending company was there. So they took a decision to send messages also. So that freight company, what did they do? They decided to speed things up. Means it took 1 month, just you think. They decided to reduce it. For that, what is needed now? What did they do? They hired. They took some, how many people? 80 people to take the mail to west on horseback. 80 people were selected to send that letters. In 1860, after 10 years, the Pony Express was formed. Then by 1850 they started. 80 people were hired, or they gave salary to 80 people, and they were told to take that mail from east to west. Okay. Then the riders for the Pony Express were chosen for their lightweight as well as their riding ability. So after 10 years, there was a change. What was the change? Yes, Pony Express. They established Pony Express, and this Pony Express, this company preferred people who should be light-weighted and also who should have what riding ability. Riding the horse is very important because if we can ride the horse very speedily, it will take less time. And also his weight is also very important. Why? Because if he is a fat man, that horse will not be able to run fastly. Okay, so that's why that two qualifications, not academic qualifications, only one is riding and second one is lightweight. That was the preference. Most of them were young boys, and also these messages or these people who joined in Pony Company, they were youngsters. The route they undertook was a rugged one. They undertook a route that was a rugged one. Rugged one means a tough one. It went from St. Joseph, Missouri to Sacramento, California, a distance of over 1,800 miles. Just you think about that. 1,800 miles means more than 2,000 kilometers. Each rider rode a total of 75 miles, changing ponies at different stations. Then Pony Express, what is mean by this pony, Pony means actually, yes, horse. So Pony Express means, yes, horse express. So people who were selected, they didn't want to run from east to west. One fixed area was there for them to run. Means just to suppose 30 kilometers for one rider. Then after 30 kilometers, another person will be there with a horse, and they will hand over that. First person will hand over that letter to the second person who is waiting there. Then he will run, and next person he will hand over this to the third person, and like that, 1,800 miles they ran. And changing ponies at different stations, and those who were very strong, they changed their horses, and the rider was same, but they changed whom? Yes, horses. Why? Because horses will be tired. So they fixed a particular distance, and for that they used one horse. Then rider, without changing the rider, he changed the horse. Next he used another horse, and he resumed his journey, and like that. That was the system of Pony Express. Okay. Then, so now have you got an idea about Pony Express? Yes. The mail was carried in 4 leather boxes, which were attached to a special saddle blanket thrown over the saddle. The changing of ponies was done in 2 minutes. In 1850s, it is telling about 1850s. The mail was carried in 4 leather boxes. So how many leather boxes were there? 4, which were attached to a special saddle. Saddle, what is mean by saddle? The rider will sit on the back of whom horse, and he will sit on not directly on the back of the horse. What will be there? One seat will be there, and that is what called as saddle. So that saddle, this 4 leather boxes tied on the saddle blanket, then thrown over the saddle. The changing of ponies was done in 2 minutes. Then a distance they will cover, and next they will change the horse. The speed was a bonus because it cut the average delivery time from several weeks to about 10 days. So before the introduction of or establishment of Pony Express, it took weeks to reach the same message. But because of this systematic way of transportation of this mail, what happened? That days reduced to 10 days. Weeks, before that it took weeks, but it reduced to weeks from 10 days. The fastest trip was made in 7 days and 17 hours. And here one important thing is which was the fastest trip of this Pony Express. Which was there now? That was of 7 days and 17 hours. And what was that message? This record was set by the rider carrying President Abraham Lincoln's first message to the US Congress. After electing whom? Yes, as American President Abraham Lincoln, who sent a message to the US Congress. US Congress, same like our Parliament, US Congress is there. So to that Congress, US Congress, he sent a message, and it was sent. That is what the fastest message trip done by the Pony Express. Okay. The poor riders had to ride through unknown terrains. The last paragraph is telling about the problems of the riders. What were they? The poor riders had to ride through what? Unknown terrains, unknown places. They wanted to ride that horses through unknown places. Some routes exposed them to attacks from Red Indians, and on the way they met whom? Red Indians. Red Indians means the local people in America. They were enemies of whom? The white people who migrated from Europe to America. So there was a fight between these Red Indians and white people who migrated from Europe. So on the way, these riders were attacked by the Red Indians and led them through dangerous territories. So whenever these Red Indians chased them, Red Indians, they had a clear idea about that forest, that area. But this rider did not have any idea. So they, whenever they followed these riders, they ran through unknown places. So it was a big problem. Newspaper advertisements were for riders listed one important requirement. So on those days, riders, for selecting riders, they give advertisements in the newspapers. And what was that important requirement? Orphans preferred. Orphans were preferred. Orphans mean a person who doesn't have father and mother. Why? Why? Though exciting, the Pony Express was a short-lived experiment. So let me tell you why did they choose these orphans? Because there was a danger from whom? Red Indians, they may attack this rider and they may kill. So if an orphan means nobody will be there to ask. Okay. So, but this Pony Express was a short-lived one. It lasted for only 19 months. By then there was a telegraph line from coast to coast, but this Pony Express stopped after 19 months. Why? Because the introduction of telegraph. This was definitely a faster way of sending messages, but the invention of radio brought in a great revolutionary change in the field of communication. So this new system, the telegraph system changed the messaging system. But before that, Pony Express, that was changed this messaging system. Okay, but after the introduction of telegraph, Pony Express stopped. Okay, so this is what the first subtopic. I hope you understood it. So you have to study what is Pony Express and who are the riders, what were the preferences for riders, and also the problems faced by the riders. Then just you should be able to write a short note on the history of messages. Okay, so read this lesson twice or thrice, and then find out the side question answers and send me to my personal mobile. Okay, thank you.